Farhan, how would you rate yourself as an actor?
I don't know, I'd give it
Out of 10.
1 star for each year that Zoom has.
Oh, so that's 10 on 10.
Oh, is it really? It's been 10 years? Okay. Rakesh met me for being a part of Rang De Basanti.
Okay.
You know, yeah, at that point I didn't really think about wanting to be an actor. I think at your core it's important to try and remain the person you were. I don't have any wish list of, oh, I really want to work with this director, or I really want to work with this actor. Criticism that I'll never forget, well, there's been many over the years. To me, anything that's not true is shocking and ridiculous, no? At the end of the day. Fortunately, I don't think I've had that many link-up issues.
Hi Farhan, thank you for being a part of Zoom's 10th anniversary celebration at Escobar. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Okay, do you watch Zoom?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you really get your dose of Bollywood information and all that from?
Well, to be honest, I mean, it actually comes at you from every place.
I mean, you're part of the industry, so I'm sure it comes at you.
It's, I mean, from conversation, from either listening to radio, watching TV, seeing the newspaper. It's a healthy mix of all, of getting your dose of Bollywood information from all sources.
What we call gossip.
What you call gossip.
So I'm going to quickly ask you 10 questions, Farhan, okay? The first one, if you wake up one day and you go back 10 years, what is the one thing you would do differently in your life?
I'm not sure actually, I don't think so. I don't think
anything you want to change or anything?
No, not really, no.
Yeah?
I'm quite happy with the way things have gone, and any mistakes that I've made or any failures that I've had, I've learned from them. You know, so no, not really, nothing.
Which is the one actor from Bollywood you envy and why? For good reasons.
Not really. I think envy is a bit negative. You know,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. For good reason, someone's work, about your work.
Yeah, people I admire.
Yeah,
you know, I think admiration is a nicer way of looking at it. And there's many people. I think Hrithik is somebody who springs to mind. Yeah. You know, who I admire tremendously. Shah Rukh is another. And yeah, I mean, I feel every time they work on a film, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have interacted with them over the last 10 years a lot. Yeah. You know, so
and
just
directed them too, right?
Directed them, acted with Hrithik in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. You know, done a scene with Shah Rukh in Luck by Chance. You know, so it's just their enthusiasm for their work. You know, and just every time it's the childlike kind of enjoyment that they have with films that they do, and yet the sincerity that they show. Right. You know, I admire that tremendously.
Farhan, how would you rate yourself as an actor?
I don't know. I'd give it
out of 10.
1 star for each year that Zoom has.
Oh, so that's 10 on 10.
Oh, is it really? It's been 10 years. Okay. Great.
I'm sure a lot of films that you've watched that have left an impact in your life. Which are the 3 most important films that really had an influence on you as a filmmaker, as an actor?
3, I mean, films that have stayed with me. I think one of them definitely is Raging Bull. Is a big film in terms of, again, just performance, in the way the film is made, the way the soundtrack is used, the way the cinematography of that film was, direction, everything. That's a very important film to me. And apart from that, there's many. I mean, just for the sheer entertainment of it, Sholay, you know, is another film, you know, that stayed with me. And another film that did have an impact on me was Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, that released in '88, you know, when I was just about finishing school. And I felt after a very long time that there was a film that was speaking to this generation that I belong to. So that was a very impactful film as well.
Any film of yours that you would do differently if you had a chance?
Any
as an
film
actor?
would I do differently?
Yeah.
No, you know, I feel it's very difficult to go back and in retrospect try to change something, because it felt right then
at that
in
point
terms
of time.
of the decisions that you made. So no, I've never even thought about it. You know that.
So you never really go back and keep watching your films on DVD and saying, hey, I could have done this scene differently.
No, not at all.
Even when it comes to your direction.
No, I mean, if at all, I mean, I was asked this question once about Dil Chahta Hai, would I do anything differently? And it took, I think, a distance of about 8-10 years from that film to come up with an answer, because this question had been asked to me over time. And I think probably the only thing that I may have done differently on that film was not got Akshay to meet or exchange that look with that girl at
Oh,
the
really?
end.
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe not. That's the one thing that maybe I wouldn't have done.
But it's been what, 13 years since that film, I think.
Yeah,
14 years. So when you look back, how does that film make you feel? Like it was your first. What kind of feelings in your mind?
I haven't seen that film now for a while. No, I haven't seen it for a while. But people message me a lot,
Still about that
on
film?
social media.
Yeah.
I guess when they catch it somewhere or the other. So I do get messages from them, and it's very heartening, to see that your first work, is still spoken about and appreciated. And what's very enjoyable for me is when people post photographs of themselves sitting on that fort in Goa. They still friends go and sit there and they take pictures of themselves and send it.
Wow.
Dil chahta hai moment. So that
Oh, they call it Dil Chahta moment. That's amazing. Yes, and so many years since then.
That's right.
Absolutely. Farhan, which are the 3 mistakes of your life?
3 mistakes of my life.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say mistakes because everything that you did at that time felt like it was the right thing to do. But things maybe I wish if in that moment I had this knowledge then that I could have done differently. For one, I remember. There's only one really that comes to my mind as far as my work is concerned. Because in life, as in every in every relationship that you have, you live and learn.
Absolutely.
But professionally, I think the one thing was when Rakesh met me for being a part of Rang De Basanti.
Okay.
At that point I didn't really think about wanting to be an actor. When he had met me for a part in that film, and which I said I don't think I can do.
Yeah.
So I wish now in retrospect I'd done it because I really like that film. I like that film a lot.
But will you say that Bhag Milkha was like a turning point in your life as an actor, with the kind of acclaim you got, the kind of work you did?
Well, I think with every role that gets appreciated, awareness of you and of your presence in the film industry does grow. But I feel fortunate again. Like I feel from the time of Rock On, there's been a certain
growth.
Certain growth that's happened since then. So Bhag Milkha Bhag was a very challenging part, and I think the fact that it was so challenging on the face of it, and that people saw the amount of effort maybe that went into the creating of that part gives you a certain slightly more claim, I guess.
Farhan, have you ever been starstruck?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
I think
Tell us about that starstruck
I've been a huge fan of movies since I was a child. So I've grown up admiring film stars, as I was growing up. So be it Mr. Bachchan, be it Rishi Kapoor.
Yeah.
There are people who I've been fans of since I was a child.
Zoya told me one interesting story, but when you guys were in London and you were chasing some star, I don't remember quite well which was some Hollywood director or something. You guys were like chasing.
No, we weren't chasing.
Something that happened. It was a very funny story she told us once, and we were like on the floor laughing.
We had gone to watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right, yeah, she said something like that.
We had gone to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, Ritesh, Zoya and myself.
Yes.
The second part that had come out. And while we were just at the, the popcorn store, getting our goodies for the film.
Yeah.
So suddenly we turned around and Zoya just went, "Is that George Lucas?" And we all turned and looked, and there was actually George Lucas walking into the theatre with his son, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong, but I think it was. And he was coming in, and it was so amazing to see. Firstly, he was
just casually ambling around,
being left alone. I think it's a different culture where you don't go and jump on top of people. But we've grown up in a different environment where we get very excited. So we saw him, and I was like, man, this is the guy who made Star Wars. And so just to go and kind of tell him that he's been an amazing influence.
So you did? So you did?
Yeah, of course we did.
Okay.
We sent Zoya first. We said
she was a scapegoat.
Yeah, maybe he won't tell a lady, leave me alone. So we sent Zoya, and Zoya went and said, we're all filmmakers from India, and we are big fans, and we watched your film. So then we shook hands, and it was a nice moment.
Yeah, but you've been fans of stars, like you just said, and now you're an actor, star yourself. Has things changed? Does something change in your head when you know that people recognizing you for being an actor, not just a director?
Well, hopefully not.
No?
See, at the end of the day,
there is something that comes with stardom, right? It's not
of course,
not the same.
There are certain perks that come with it, but there are also certain restrictions that come with it. So, but hopefully it doesn't change you so much as a person. I think at your core, it's important to try and remain the person you were before.
Stay grounded.
that is.
Isn't it tough
yes.
sometimes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I feel that
all the adulation.
if you're surrounded by the right people, you know, I think that makes a huge difference. How your family is with you, how your close friends are with you.
3 directors you would really want to be directed by.
I actually don't have any such list.
Any wish list?
No, I don't have any wish list of I really want to work with this director or I really want to work with this actor. No, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And 3 actors you really want to direct as a director.
3 actors that are, you know, it's very difficult to say because I mean more often than not you'll end up working with people who are suited for what you write.
Correct, yeah.
You know, as opposed to writing something so that it suits them.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say. I mean, for me,
whose work are you really fascinated by? The younger generation.
I mean, on some level, I think. I mean, if at all, like I said, to me, De Niro has been a huge influence. You know, in terms of his acting, in terms of the way he approached his films, and also for my love of movies.
Right.
So I mean, he's somebody in some capacity. Hopefully, I could work with in the future.
What comes to you most naturally? Direction, acting, now you're singing also. What is the most natural instinct?
Well, it's to entertain, I guess. You know,
no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mainly to entertain. And that's something that has kind of been consistently true.
Yeah.
You know, from people who know me, even just at home, I love making people laugh and, you know, like just that whole kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's, all of this is an extension of that.
Any film in recent times that you wish you were a part of?
You know, again, these are those, if they're not broken, why try and fix it? Answers. I mean, the reason you liked the film was because it was made by that
something
person.
right about the movie.
Yeah, it was made by that person, and there were those people who acted in it and made it so believable and so much fun. So no, not really, no.
Yeah. One criticism and one praise that you will never forget, which you got for your work.
Recently, one that did stay with me was when I had recently gone to Chandigarh. There was this elderly Sikh gentleman that I met at the airport. So he said, I'd like to say something, you know, I want to tell you something. So I was like, yes, sir, please. So he said, he was an older man. So he said to me that, you know, मैंने आपकी फिल्म देखी, भाग मिल्खा भाग मैंने देखी, मैं मिल्खा जी को जानता हूँ. You know, he is also from Chandigarh. So I said, wonderful. So he's like, बस यही कहना था कि मिल्खा जी's role, वो आपकी किस्मत में मिल्खा जी का role लिखा था और मिल्खा जी के किस्मत में आपकी performance लिखी थी. So I thought that was a very sweet thing to say.
That's nice. That's very nice. And one criticism that you will never forget?
Criticism that I'll never forget. Well, there's been many over the years.
Something that really stuck in your head and say, hey.
No, well, I mean, you know, the thing is, for example, every time you read, whether it's something in terms of a review of your film or of your performance or of a song that you sung, I mean, the only thing that it does for me is it gives me a little bit more impetus to try and make it better. You know, that's what it does. I mean, one that again, I mean, when it comes back to Bhag Milka Bhag, I remember very categorically, there was an article that came out about why Farhan to play Milkha Singh, why not a Punjabi actor? You know, that kind of thing. And for me, that was criticism of the fact that whether I'll be able to do the performance or not.
Did it make you think somewhere?
No, but it gives you fuel. You know, it's amazing how what that does.
Someone go and prove it, and you did.
Absolutely. I mean, and why not? I mean, if you can take something that's kind of negative, you know, and kind of pessimistic, and use that,
turn it around,
and convert that energy into something that could be fuel to prove somebody, to prove to someone that, you know what, maybe you need to eat your words now. You know, so why not?
And they're really waiting their words, I'm sure.
That I don't know, but I mean the fact that it helped me on some level, it gave me some more fuel, which was nice.
If you had to go back to some decade of Bollywood, which one would that be?
Probably, I think maybe the 50s, if I had to go back.
50s?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of very powerful dramas and what we all like and sometimes miss in movies, the Therav as it's called. You know, there was a lot of that back then. And I mean, it was like independent India also finding its own voice. You know, so it was a very nice time. The music of the 50s truly is like the golden period.
Absolutely,
and I mean, we had some great filmmakers. You know, there were films about social issues, and at the same time, there were
ahead of its time actually.
So an amazing decade. I think the 50s.
But would you want to be a part of any film from the decade? Like, you know, I love this movie. And
no, again, see, I mean, it's that same question. Like, do I want to be a part of that film? I would like to.
Any movie that really stands out in your head, like this is what I love the most.
I mean, you know, you have people like Dilip Saab, Mr. Raj Kapoor, Devanand, Guru Dutt, you know, Bimal Roy, all these people working at that time, and I mean, just to name a few, you know, all these people working at that time, and it was just an amazing time for Hindi film. So to have been a part of that decade would have been nice.
Itself,
as per, not really say, oh, this film I wish I was. I was in.
10 must-watch Bollywood films of all times.
10 must-watch Bollywood films of all time.
10 films to watch before you die.
This you should prepare me for. This you can't just sit here off the cuff. Give answers.
5.
Let's try and go back in. I think Do Bigha Zameen.
Okay, Do Bigha Zameen.
Pyasa. Sholay. Chupke Chupke.
Okay.
I think is another film. And I think Satya is another film.
Okay. Farhan, you're doing a very interesting initiative with Mard. Could you tell us something about it?
Well, I mean, Mard is, it stands for Men Against Rape and Discrimination. It's something we started a year and a half ago now. And it's an initiative that really is trying to highlight gender disparity and trying to focus on creating a more equal, less discriminated society. And our efforts really are towards boys, younger men, you know, trying to reach out to them and create, help them create a more balanced parameter, you know, vis-a-vis which they can claim to be calling themselves men.
Right.
So just kind of redefining that word with a kind of a value system that hopefully will include for them the fact that everybody is created equal and that we should end this kind of discrimination. And
you've also sung a song recently for it. Tell us about that. What made you want to go ahead and sing a song for it? Well,
it's not, I mean, it was, see with Mard, it's, I wanted to focus more on creating things that are in the area and in the field of how I would like to creatively express myself. So be it poetry, be it song, you know, be it short films. That's really what I would like to do.
Okay. What is the strangest piece of rumor or news you've heard about yourself?
Well, I mean, to me, anything that's not true is shocking and ridiculous at the end of the day. So I mean,
so there's a lot of untrue things written about you, is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's been things. I mean, of course, fortunately, I don't think I've had that many link-up issues.
Yeah, you've not had all of that.
Many other people that I know. But I mean, every time I've read it, it kind of surprises me.
Amuses you?
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. So I mean, that's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
But
But you never care to really clarify, and do you just pretty much...
There's no point. I mean, there's
quite
no point
away from all of that.
In giving credence to something that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, I feel more... If things are not true, I mean, they'll kind of settle down on their own.
Why talk about it? Right?
You know, so and why give it more importance by talking about it. It's not important.
Thanks so much, Farhan. It was super talking to you. Thank you so much for being a part of the celebration. Thank you.
For being frank and candid, Farhan gets a 9 on 10.